Good morning, YouTube. It is a lovely Wednesday morning. We got a bit of rain this morning, but hey, who gives a fuck, I guess, eh? We have got fairly busy morning. Got a customer here this morning that wants us to remove his sub and amp out of his Saturn Astra. You don't see many of those here in Canada. I guess it's like an Opal somewhere else in the world. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and pull this car in, and we're gonna remove the sub and the amp, as well as the wiring. We installed this stuff into this guy's car a long time ago, and now he's got a new car that he wants to put it into. So yeah, we do quite a bit of this kind of little thing, you know, where we'll remove wiring and so on and so forth, and subs and speakers, and people make a good investment and stuff in their vehicle. There's really no sense in giving that away, you know, because sometimes people literally spend more money on their audio systems than they do on the car itself, right? So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pull this thing in. I'll get back at you. Right. This thing runs great. So this is what we're dealing with here. A couple of Kicker Comp R12s and an amplifier, and I guess he wants us to remove the wiring as well. Yeah, so the amplifier is where on this thing? Oh, on the side of the amplifier here. Did this quite a while ago. I told him it would probably be more beneficial just to keep the wiring in the car, but he wants us to remove it all. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and get back at you. So it looks like things have changed since the last time I saw this car. This is an amplifier installation kit that he provided us with a long time ago, and I'm not sure why it's missing all the loom, but it seems to be, these are really crappy type of fuse holders. But we'll go ahead and unhook all this stuff here. Just maybe start off with a set of cutters, so we can go ahead and unsnip this from the factory stuff that's going on here. Just like that. We'll remove these zip ties out of the engine bay. I think that he's got an exhaust leak. What do you guys think? Could be. Go ahead and what do you think that is? That's probably about a 13 mil. About a 13. I can't really make up a fun thing for that, can I? You know, a 13 on a drilly? Nope, can't say that. It's got to be, you know, a 10 milli on a drilly, or a filly on a drilly, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You guys don't like that, eh? I think it's pretty freaking hilarious myself, but, you know, maybe I should create a t-shirt about it. What do you think? Maybe leave a comment in the comments. A filly on a drilly, or a 10 milli on a filly on a drilly, you know? And I think that's a 13. And go ahead and loosen that off there. Maybe come to think of it, I don't think we actually installed this wiring. I think we just put the sub and the amp in there for him, but he wants the wiring now, so we'll go ahead and clamp this back down. Yeah, alrighty then. And we'll go ahead and untape this thing and start pulling that power cable through. Particularly good reason why to get a sealed fuse holder. I mean, if this thing sits underneath the engine bay, it just gets all pretty corroded and shitified looking. And we'll go ahead and snap this baby off if we can. It's a 14 milli. That's a 14 milli. It's a 13. We'll go ahead and see about getting a 14 on there. Here we are. All right, let's try that. One-handed. Yeah, look at that. Not too bad, not too bad. And that can come off of there. Pull this out of my drill and slap it back on there. And this fuse holder is back. I'll probably have to convince him to get a new one here if we can. Get rid of all that, and I can start pulling that power cable through. So yeah, we totally did not install this. Not sure if you guys can see that or not right there on the firewall where that's being ran through, but there's like, it's outside of the grommet, and then it's been like black siliconed into place. Definitely not something we would ever do. Definitely not. So I'll try giving her a yank and see if she'll come out here. Our power cable here. Next up, we gotta grab our RCAs. Looks like Damien's already got most of everything removed here. Ground, and then the RCAs are on this side, are they? It was about what, a whole 5 minutes in total pulling that out. It takes so much longer putting it in, you know what I mean? So much longer putting it in. That's what she said. Anyways. So there's all of his wiring there. We got a power cable, our RCAs. Just gonna grab the fuse holder here that was under the hood of the vehicle and slap that back in his trunk. We'll start this Harley Davidson back up. And to be hardly a Davidson. Let's see here. Where'd the key go? Oh gosh. Oh goodness. Is the key on the bench? Yeah. Switchblade, guys. Switchblade. Oh yeah. Anywho, yeah, let's start this thing up. Let's see what's up. Oh yeah. Sounds like a Harley. Not a single mirror was given on this day. Damien was saying how he feels like this this car definitely deserves to be in the handicap spot. You know, we don't typically make fun of everybody's car, but I mean, I think there's a good reason why he's taking the system out of this thing. So, and he's got like a Chevy Cobalt, I guess he's bringing in tomorrow for us to put that into. So, right on, good for him. Okay, so we got some spare time this morning. Damien's working on wiring up those rear lights there, and I'm going to work on doing the front bumper lights, the compressor, and the toggle for the train horns. All right, so here's what we're working with, guys. We got the pump here and the pressure sensor right here on the line, and then he's got a pressure sensor gauge here with the wiring. I'm just following the wiring diagrams. It says that the pressure sensor needs to go to green, black, and looks like the black gets grounded out. No connector sensor ground. Must ground to the same spot, so that's fine. I can do all that under the dash once this connector's connected. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. And as for the battery over here, I've had a good look at it. Everything seems to be pretty copacetic with it, and there's really no need to change the battery terminals over here. So I'm going to just leave good enough alone and start wiring up the bumper and get this thing out of here. Switch all hooked up here. Heat shrunk and soldered on some of those connectors. They're just screw-on type green and black wires. Got that loom running into this other loom for the compressor, and we're just working on doing the bumper lights. We'll do the bumper lights, bring them up through the engine bay, probably on the passenger side here, and then run all of this over to the driver's side, and I'll cog a nice fresh hole in the firewall here, probably somewhere, to run everything through in one spot and just keep it all nice and organized. Damien is in the back there wiring up the lights, as you can see here. He's working away. He's got everything nicely illumined and terminated at each end here. So we're gonna go ahead now and probably use these connectors here. They're the heat shrinkable type connectors for the lights and stuff. These are weather tight. Wouldn't consider them weather pack connectors, but I looked into weather pack connectors and they're like 15 bucks a piece, and that's just for a 2-prong connector, so that just isn't gonna work. Very, very expensive, so we're gonna use those. Pack them full of some lithium, like not lithium grease, but dielectrical grease, and they'll be 100% fine. So we'll go ahead now and start working on that. All right, so I installed that wire all the way through the truck for the backup lights. I wasn't gonna show you the whole process just because of the simple fact that I had to spend 20 minutes just to wash myself up after this greasy bastard of a truck. I mean, this was a white wire. Does that look white? No. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just gonna finish this off here, put the plug back in, run the wire up through here, and then I think we're gonna run it up into this area here, and that'll be the wires for the backup lights, and Gatlin will finish the stuff in the front. Just
just want to say thanks, guys. Those comments were hilarious. I really enjoyed doing the video. You'll see more of me as we go along. I was told to pick up the camera as much as I could. I like entertaining you guys. It's kind of funny, but yeah, so we're gonna get this big bastard out of here, and yeah, I'm sorry for the ums, ands, whatever. I'm not used to talking on the camera, so back at you. So I've got the wire in the grommet now. I'm not going to do any zip tying or anything like that until Gallon gets the rest of the wires up here. Then we can just kind of make a nice, you know, connection here, and then you know, zip tie it, or I think we're going to put some more Dynamat on top, make that look a lot nicer, so nothing gets caught. But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to do anything else with this until Gatlin's finished with his stuff. He just ran out for a minute. He'll be back shortly. But anyways, catch you later.
So next up is the bumper lights and the little trigger relay that's going for the tank here. So when he wants to sunt somebody, he can do that, and then we'll run all that up and through here, you know, bring it up and, you know, run it into this loom here. So that way everything's all just one loom, and I can run that over and slam her into the cab there. On the underbelly, and those wires up there for the compressor, and we got ground right here for the compressor or the solenoid up there, and then we've also got 2 wires here. This is 2 wires that'll go for the train horns, and then we got 1 set of wires here. That's for the driver's side light, and then we got one here for the passenger side light. So we'll work on the lights first. I'm just trying to see if I can get the shot here, but there's a bunch of holes along this frame rail here, if you guys can see those there. I'm going to use these types of zip ties right there, and run my wire that I've already loomed here, and I've got some of those weather pack type heat shrinkable connectors on here, and I've got the 1/8 inch loom, which is actually pretty hard stuff to get, and I'm going to run that along the frame like this to each light, and use these little zip tie things to hold them into those holes that are already in the frame here. So we'll stick these little clippities into the holes there, and give them a little push, and that holds those into place. Grab a couple more here, and we'll just make sure that we put them all in the same direction here. See these 2 little tabs? Those will go into the holes and then get pushed in. You can almost kind of hear them click. You may not be able to hear it on video, especially with me talking, but they do clip into place there. And we'll go ahead and clip in a couple of these here. And I gotta make sure that's turned around, because I'm anal that way. It's gotta be pointing in the right direction. There we go. That one's pushed in place there as well. And we got one more here. Keep in mind, these are all factory holes, guys. I haven't drilled these, so these little clips will make very good use of those holes. So we're working on the left and right driver's light, and the switch for the train horns here. So you can push the train horns, and this relay here will open up the air for the from the tank to the horns themselves. All right, so as you can see, got all my wires here. This one's loomed here, this one's not. This one's wrapped in Tessa tape. This is for the train horns. This one here is for the light in the bumper, and we got these clips all in there, if you guys can see that there. Nice factory look, I think. Anyways, got one more right here to do, and I'll get back in. Okay, so we've got our wires ran for the light and for the solenoid for the train horns. Next, we're going to go ahead and start wiring up our compressor, our ground for the compressor, and start running those wires up to this area here as well. And then I may end up changing some of these battery terminals over so I can get some powers and grounds and that kind of thing. But for now, we just kind of got a little elephant trunk wiring coming out from the front bumper, and loom kind of just all over the place currently. But the objective is to get all of these looms here into one larger loom. Anything that needs to go inside the cab will go inside the cab, but it'll all be, you know, nicely loomed up and, you know, ran from, you know, down there. This zip tie I put in here is just loose, so if I need to put anything else through it, I can do that. And again, using all those factory holes with those clips works out really well. Similar idea with all the clips I put along the rad support here too for this power cable here. So we're gonna go ahead and continue on. I'm gonna probably label what I've got already just so I don't forget, because I am going to be using some more 4-conductor 12-gauge wire for the compressor and all that fun jazz, so that way I know what's up. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that now. Okay, so before I get any further, I'm going to go ahead and predetermine all these wires here, and I've put these connectors on in a certain way. So we got a male here and a female here. Female is on the positive side and male is on the negative side. So I'm going to do the opposite on each light, as you can see here. So we got a positive, which coordinates to the female on the vehicle side wiring. So I'm going to go ahead and install a male end on each of the positive ends here. Again, it doesn't need to be quite that long, so we can go ahead and chop that off. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Maybe I will adjust the camera a little bit more. There you are. And we'll go ahead and stick this connector in there. And we'll use our crimper tool. And we will crimp it. Crimping ain't easy, boys. Crimping ain't easy. So there's one connection. And then we'll go ahead and do our negative. And our negative on the vehicle side is a male, so we're going to go ahead and install a female connector. That way when if he ever decides he wants to remove these lights, there's really only one way that these connectors can go on there. So just a little tip, that's the best way to do it, guys. Just the way that I'm doing it right now. Stagger your connections just like that. So that way when he decides, and when you're crimping these too, there's only one way that these things can really go on there. And you know, you put your crimper tool within the little crease and you just give it a good little shot there. And then once you're done doing that, you just take your heat gun here and give it a little shot. Now you just want to get the actual part where the connection is, so just right down in there. You know what? I put this connector on backwards, so that's hilarious. That's why that's not going to work. Huh. When you're working upside down, kind of get confused sometimes. So again, we're going to put a female connector on here properly. This is the end you want to use, this one right here, not the other end. So the wire goes in there like so. And then we'll crimp that on there. Anyhow, we'll go ahead and crimp that on there now. Not sure if you guys can see that little crease there, but you just want to use that crease to crimp on. That way the crimp will kind of do one of these, you know what I mean? Like this around the wire versus just kind of folding over. So again, heat gun. Okay, so those connections are done there, and I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other side light, but just to give you an idea. So here's our negative, and it's still very warm, so I'm going to go ahead and just give you the idea. And you know, that light is now connected and ready to go. And you know, I'll figure out a way of, you know, hiding this wire up in there or mounting it to here, some kind of thing like that, something maybe. We'll figure that out afterwards. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of the connections, and we'll go ahead and start wiring up the tank. Okay, so each light has been wired up there. I got the center all wired up and loomed. That light all light up, mounted and loomed. It looked like he has some kind of mount on there for the train horn. So what I did is I used zip ties that have like a little hole on them, and then I used the hole on the bolt that he has holding on this train horn here, so that way it keeps all this wiring nice and sturdy. And so next we're going to be working on this compressor wiring, which is right up in here. I'm going to run a piece of forward conductor from here and then over here and then back up through the rest of the wiring that I've got all here. Everything looks really nice though. It's hard to see because I'm on my back, but here I am working on the fucking bottom of this thing. So. Alright, so I'm just taking a little bit of a break from the wiring underneath of there. The back's all done. I'll quickly show you that before I show you what Damien's doing here. But he's already ran all the wires for the back lights here all the way up underneath, as you can see, beautifully ran. And yeah, so the rear lights are ran. The wire has been brought inside of the cab. Not sure if I showed you guys that earlier, but that's been brought through the floor there. So those are the rear lights, and we've got the center button here. We got the front lights, the air pressure signal. This is the compressor, and I'm just going to work on bringing those wires from the tank up to this location here, because a couple of them have to get hooked up to the actual tank, or sorry, the compressor. That little relay switch down there, I'm assuming what it does is it basically just turns on and off the compressor based on the amount of pressure that's within the tank. So one of those wires has to go to straight constant 12, which will be up here, and then the other one will go to ground, which I'll do down there, and then the other two have to go to the switch inside to turn the compressor on and off. So I'll be running all that along with this loom here. And what we got going on here is Damien has figured out the contour for the center console. This is just a template that he's made out of cardboard. It's all taped together, and it looks like he's already got it here on the wood. So he's going to take his measurements here, Mr. Damien. And he'll cut this out, duplicate it, I'm assuming. And start building up that center console, guys. And I think we're running a bit short on time for this video today. It's almost 3 o'clock. I like to get the videos done before 3 o'clock that day, just because it does take so much time to load the video. But if I look at my phone here, I've got about 20 minutes left, so that should be enough time for me to run the wiring for the tank up, and to do the ground for the tank as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and get back at you. Alright guys, so we've pretty much completed the front bumper wiring at this point. I've terminated all my connections and I've ran up all the wiring there, but first I'll show you the wiring underneath. So we'll go ahead and crawl under here, and as you can see, it's all been done. You got our center button here, got our left light there, right light here. All the connections have been made up there for the compressor tank, and then ran up through this little cavity through here, and everything's all been nicely zip tied. We got our ground here for our tank, and the solenoid that's there. Oops, sorry to slosh you around there. So it looks like, and I've even ran up, he has like a probably it's a block heater or something along that line there, so I ran that back up to there, and it looks as though everything is complete under here. So we're gonna go ahead and get up here and look at the wiring here. So this just needs to get ran over here basically, but yeah, so we have a little elephant trunk worth of wiring coming out of the bumper, and next in line is to wire some of this up, and I'm gonna get this completed today. But as I mentioned to you before, we're kind of running a bit short on time here, and wipe my mouth there. So we are going to call this video a day, guys. So hopefully you guys can smash that subscribe button and smash that like button.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow for a new one, all right, guys? CarPhonix signing out on the drilly.